Hey there, friends. My name is Savannah, and I'm so glad you are here watching Church at Home with me today. We are in the middle of a series all about kids in the Bible. Did you know there are actually a ton of stories about kids doing amazing things for God? Kids just like you. And today's story is all about a kid who shows us how important it is to listen for God. That's why our big idea today is, I can listen for God. God has so many amazing things to tell us and teach us. He doesn't just have important things to teach adults, He wants to talk to you too. Our memory verse reminds us that even though you might be a kid, God still wants to do amazing things through you. It's found in 1 Timothy 4:12, and it says, "Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." Let's sing that out together. That verse encourages you to not let anyone think less of you just because you are young. That means that you can do amazing and important things no matter how old you are. Today's Bible story shows us that God has something important to say to you, even as a kid. Let's check out the story about a kid named Samuel who heard a special message from God. See if you can count how many times God called for Samuel before Samuel realized who it was. Watch this.
Stories of the Bible. God speaks to Samuel. This is Samuel.
Hi!
Samuel was the son of Hannah.
Hey, Samuel!
Hannah prayed for God to give her a son, and God did. So Hannah gave Samuel back to God.
See you, Samuel. Bye, Mom.
And Samuel grew up in the temple serving under Eli, the priest.
Hi, Eli.
As Samuel grew up, he learned how to serve God from Eli. Samuel lived in the house of God, but he did not know God or what God's voice sounded like. In those days, messages from God were rare. But one night after Eli had gone to bed, Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle when suddenly God called out, "Samuel!"
Huh?
Samuel got up and ran to Eli and said, "Did you call me?"
Not me.
Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel did. Then God called out again, "Samuel!"
Huh?
And again Samuel got up and ran to Eli asking, "Did you call me?"
Me.
Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel did. God called Samuel for a third time, "Samuel." And Samuel went to Eli yet again. After 3 times, Eli realized that God was trying to speak to Samuel. So Eli taught Samuel to say, "Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening."
Okay.
Samuel went back to bed, and God came and called as before, "Samuel, Samuel." And Samuel said, "Speak, your servant is listening." God told him many things about what would happen to Israel. As Samuel grew up, God was with him, and everything God spoke through Samuel came true. Samuel was seen as a great prophet of God because he could hear the voice of God, and he listened when God spoke to him.
Three times! Wow! God called to Samuel 3 times, and each time he thought it was Eli. Finally, Eli realized it was God speaking, and he told Samuel to listen for the message God had for him. God told him about things that would happen, and Samuel grew up to share God's message and do amazing things for God. How cool is that? God had something really important to share, and he could have spoken to Eli or to a king or someone really important, but God chose Samuel. He knew that even though Samuel was a kid, he could do amazing things, and God wants to use you to do amazing things too. But it starts with listening for God. God got Samuel's attention, and he might be trying to get your attention too. Now, you probably won't hear God's voice calling to you like Samuel, but God speaks to us in lots of other ways. You can listen to him in the stories and the word he says in the Bible, through other people who love Jesus, through songs about Jesus, or through his creation. The more you spend time with God, the better you will get at hearing and understanding what he has to say to you. Now we're gonna head over to the set of Kids Only for a brand new episode this week where Danny and Logan are putting together an amazing game for 2 awesome kids. But they will really need to listen in order to make it to the finish line. Check this out.
Being a kid is the best. Kids are creative, silly, hilarious, smart, and so much fun. So today is all about celebrating you with a show that lets kids follow their dreams. That's right, it's time for Kids Only.
Each week, our Kids Only contestants will get the honor of participating in a once-in-a-lifetime experience that was sent in by our subscribers who are kids just like you. Warning, these experiences are extremely awesome and you can only get them here with Kids Only. Let's get started. Today is our second episode of Kids Only, and we posed another question to our subscribers and got a ton of responses.
That's what I like to hear. So what's the question this week?
We asked our faithful subscribers this question: what is your favorite animal? And then based on their answers, we will choose an epic game.
A classic but solid question. Inside this cupcake right here is our top answer.
Okay, but Logan, be really, really careful when you take a bite. Don't accidentally eat the answer because we need to know what the answer is.
But I want to eat the cupcake.
Eat the cupcake, but don't eat the answer. Oh, that's a gigantic bite. Oh.
I found it! Monkey!
Logan, are you thinking what I'm thinking? The most epic game of all time that features a monkey is Monkey Ball Jr.
Yes, that is such a legendary game. Great choice, Danny. Since this is Kids Only, our friends Jacob and Sophia are going to be playing real-life Monkey Ball Jr.
All right, everyone sit tight while we plan today's challenge. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Guys, welcome to our official Monkey Ball Jr. course. We're here today with our friends Jacob and Sophia.
Monkey Ball Jr. is all about balancing, so they need to carefully roll the balls from one end of the course to the end without falling off.
So unfortunately, we couldn't really build the thing floating in the middle of the sky, so we marked off some areas that are gonna be out of bounds for today. You guys are gonna be blindfolded, and we're gonna be directing you guys through all 3 checkpoints.
So make sure you guys are listening really carefully because Logan and I will be giving you guys guided instructions on these walkie-talkies. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
Perfect. Let's get these blindfolds on. 3, 2, 1,
go!
Yes, Jacob, there you go, there you go. A little bit to your left, a little bit to your left.
All right, you're
keep
doing
going
great,
straight, keep
you're
going
doing
straight.
great.
A little bit to your left, a little bit to your left. Let's go,
Good
keep
job,
going, keep
Sophia.
going.
Good job,
Run,
Sophia.
run, run. You're
Good
right in
job,
front of her.
Sophia.
Go, keep going.
Keep going. right, just a little bit, okay? To your right.
You're doing good, you're doing good. Get around her, go bit to your left, bit to your left.
There you go, go straight through the balloon. Go straight through the balloon.
Keep going.
Good job, Sophia. Okay, Sophia, you're gonna keep making your way. Good job, Sophia. You're doing fantastic. Okay, last checkpoint.
Keep going, she's ahead of you, keep her up. Oh, you knocked down the balloons, it's fine. Keep going, keep going. All right, you're almost through, you're almost through. She got you off, keep going. So close.
Yeah.
Woo! Well, congratulations, Sophia. You are the first ever winner of our real-life, kids-only monkey ball. Here you go.
Awesome, you guys. I really think that you guys listening to Logan and I really carefully really helped you guys through the end. So great job. All right, we're gonna head back to the couch. See you guys there.
See you inside. Great job. I think that went pretty well. Monkey ball was not an easy game to bring to life.
No, it wasn't, but that was so much fun. I'm really proud of both of our contestants. They did a great job listening to us when we were trying to help direct them.
Yeah, they sure did. And that reminds me of how Samuel listened during our Bible story. He heard God calling him again and again, and he didn't ignore it. When Eli finally helped him realize that it was God's voice, he was eager to listen to what God had to say to him.
You may be young, but like we saw in Samuel's story, being young doesn't mean God doesn't want to talk to you or doesn't have an important message for you. God won't usually speak to us out loud with a voice like Samuel heard, but he speaks to us through things like the Bible, through prayer, through nature, through the Holy Spirit, or through the wisdom of other people who love and follow him. Sometimes all we have to do is slow down, be quiet for a few minutes, and listen for what God has to say to us.
God doesn't only have important things to say to adults. Remember, our Bible verse found in 1 Timothy 4, verse 12, it says, "Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." God doesn't think any less of you because you are young. He wants to speak to you and through you right now, no matter how old you are. You are just as important to God as anyone else. Practice listening to God and learning from his teaching and have fun getting to know God. He loves you and he's such a great friend.
That's so right. And we'll be here next week with another episode of Kids Only. Until then, have a great day.
See you next week.
Okay, that looked so fun. Monkey Ball was always one of my favorite games, and somehow that version looked even better. But did you notice how Danny and Logan were using those walkie-talkies to get the kids' attention and speak to them? The kids had to listen to what they were saying in order to get some tips and tricks to help win the game. That just shows us how important it is to listen for God. He has amazing things to teach us and share with us, and while he might not speak to us with a loud voice like he did with Samuel, usually he speaks to us in our heart. When someone comes to your mind, when you remember a Bible verse, or when you have a feeling that you should pray for someone, those are times God might be speaking to you. Sometimes we just have to be willing to be still, slow down, and listen for what God has to tell us. He always has something to teach us, but we need to be willing to listen for him. Well, friends, it has been so great hanging out, singing, and learning about how amazing kids are. Remember, God has something amazing and important to teach you. Spend some time this week slowing down, quieting your mind, spending time with God, and listening for him. I'm so glad you joined me for Church at Home today. We'd love to see you in person at church too. Check out our campus locations and find a Saddleback Kids near you. Don't forget, we have some awesome activity sheets, coloring pages, and even some stuff for your parents online at saddlebackkids.com. Check it out, and we'll see you here next week.